Crosby from the corner, twisting and turning inside out. Beautiful move, trying to get the shot on. He holds, he shoots, he scores! Absolutely!
The pitch, high fly ball center field. It's hit pretty well toward the wall. Goal!
Roethlisberger gives him a lot of room here. Juju Smith-Schuster off to the races inside the 30, the 20, the 10.
I love that 10th anniversary. Sorry, this is live TV. Welcome to another Pittsburgh Sportsline TV show live in the VPTV studios right here in Bethel Park. I'm Al Levine, the talking machine, Smoking Jim Frazier, Nick Callis, and I have A2 from behind the camera going to be his real name, Anthony Piano. Hopefully I said it all right.
That's Piano, that's all right.
Was I close?
Yeah, it's close enough.
Speak your name, sir.
Anthony Piano.
Okay, that sounded almost like I said. Welcome aboard.
Good to have you.
Chip can't be here, so Anthony will be filling in. Thanks for watching us on Comcast 7, only in Bethel Park. Thanks for watching us on Verizon 32 in Bethel Park, all the way from Nemacolin, Cranberry, Wexford, and all points in between. Hello to my new friend Tom from Beachview, was waiting at Olive Oil's Pizzeria. He grew up and played baseball in Beachview. I said, I have many fond memories of playing Beachview, and they're great players back in the 70s. So he's a little younger than me, and he's moving to Orlando with his wife next week. So he's going to watch us on YouTube. So thank you. Thank you for the likes on Facebook. That's our page, Pittsburgh Sportsline. I can check it out. I have a smartphone too, so I can check that out. We have 6,922 likes. We're trying to get to 7,000. Talked to a couple people because, as you know, I pass out cards, and when I'm out and around, a young lady said, wow, that's interesting. You do a show, and you've done it for 10 years. And I said, yeah, how about liking it? So she goes, when I watch it, I'll like it. And I said, oh, thank you. So got another new fan. Won't say her name out there because then Smoking Jim will know, and he'll just grab that sweetie off of Facebook. Because I let him pass me a year or two ago. I'm still at like 69 or 60, 4,682. I didn't get past, that number in the 4,600. So, but I don't want to start another page. All right, we got some sports to talk with you, and we got some promos to do right now. First up, we'll see how we do on our camera here. Wow, how about this? A2 usually hits it right on. A1 set the camera up before the show. He goes, hey, talking machine, can you hold up that sheet of paper I gave you? Look what he did. Olive Oil's Pizzeria, Hillcrest Shopping Center, 412-831-1900. Frank wasn't there tonight, but his brother Mike said to say hi. He goes, enjoy the pizza and hoagie. Great Italian food there, and you can't beat them. Good prices, discounts. They got plenty of specials for you to check out. So check out Olive Oil's Pizzeria, and they sponsor our show. All right, I'm trying to watch to see who's on the show. I can't get it yet, so I don't know. Can you adjust me here, Nick?
Yeah, good.
Okay, next up, we end each show with Stay Joey Strong. Let's see what pops up. That is great. Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation. Poor Joey died 7 years ago with DIPG, dreaded brain cancer. There he is without it, and then afterwards, and he died just the other day. I think it was like the 22nd of January, a month before his birthday. The family's raised over $100,000 to find a cure. They have a local doctor, Gary, that they give money to at Children's Hospital. And he said they're going to try to find a cure, and they're getting closer to it with all their studies. So stay tuned for that. Their biggest event is the 5K 1 mile Joey Fabus Cancer Foundation superhero race at the high school in September. So check it out. You dress up like a superhero and we film it. I interview people and it's just a great day. And it's never rained on that day, so come out there and enjoy the time. All right, another 501c3. Jake explained it to Smoking Jim Frazier, so now he has no question on what a 501c3 is. And if he gives $1, well, he can't write it off because he didn't give his government name and pay taxes. But any one of us here who pays taxes could write that off on our income tax. And they're at 2600 South Park Road. Old Bethel Park Schoolhouse, 1905 it was built. They've redone it from a new roof, the windows, you name it. An auditorium named after the Community Foundation. And they do lots of great events, have a great library, have military uniforms back from the last 100 years or so. And it's just a great place. My favorite tea shop, Reginald's Coffee. They have Wi-Fi and they have roasted coffee from around the world with a roaster right in their storefront, right in their place of business, right to the side. And they have green tea for me. I've been drinking it since they've opened a couple years ago. And friends of mine tell me, I know you've heard it before, their coffee is better than Starbucks. So I know we got Starbucks nearby, but hit the local people, Julie and Matt, great owners. All right, another 501c3. Look at that. Unbelievable. A1 did a great job. Glad A2 Anthony's here with us so he can see it. Look at that. He's relaxing right now because I'm going to put him under pressure in a little bit. We're going to hear him talk about sports. All right, this is Always Be Smiling. The B stands for Bennett. Kristen and Dean's son, Bennett, died at 16 and a half. Last year they started Always Be Smiling to honor him, and they help other people going through kidney disease. Bennett had 2 kidney transplants. His dad gave him his last one, and it was successful for years. And they just help others out for hospital and different things in the area. They do different fundraisers. So thank you to everybody for liking it to get it over 1,000 likes. We took it from 600 to over 1,000, and people are still liking it because I like tons of people on my list. So Always Be Smiling. Please give it a like, and we'll keep promoting it. Thank you. Next up, Jessica Lee, the jazz singer, and Alan Levine, the talking machine, have a special donation. We've got a few in the box. We appreciate it. This is Santa for seniors. I'll read off of it. Donate blankets and Pittsburgh gear, and that's what you wear, like jerseys, sweatpants, you know, Big Ben jersey since he retired. We're going to do it from now until Valentine's Day. It benefits seniors at the Reformed Presbyterian Home, 2344 Perrysville Avenue. Guess what? Our can is right in the municipal building, lower level, police on the right, BPTV studio on the left. The can is right under the clock with a sign like this and a couple signs that the talking machine put on there. So you know where it is. Just throw them in there. I'll get them whenever we can, and we'll get them out there, and I appreciate your help. Again, it's right under the clock when you make the left in the sliding or the glass doors. So check it out. Thank you. Next up, another 501c3. I like helping others in the community. I'm a trustee on the board of the Bethel Park Community Foundation. We have grant money for you. From $100 to $5,000 if you're doing good things in the community. We've given out $1 million in 25 years, and we've been giving out money all year too. So, and it's just started. So we have a meeting on Thursday night, 7 o'clock. I'll be there. You could come there if you have a grant that you want, get an application and come on in. I'm offering you to come there. We'll be at the schoolhouse right at 2600 Park Avenue there, or South Park Road, sorry. And that's the intersection of Park Avenue, so you know. All right. Talking about kidneys, this lady got a hold of me. We're friends, Kathleen Miller. She has kidney disease. Her kidney function was 17%. It's down to 16%. She needs a kidney transplant when it's at 15 like mine was. And she found out about living donors like my son. And she got a living donor because we were promoting this on the show the last 7-8 months. So we're so happy to hear it. When her kidney function starts failing, we will find out who the donor is to save her life. So it's a great story, and thanks to all of you for reaching out. Next up, Dave Cable likes to have a little fun. Smoking Jim just learned about Uncle Sam. This is Uncle Sam, but there's my face. That's my smiling face. I want you for BPTV. Tell them Uncle Al Levine, the talking machine, wants you for BPTV. And you can be like Nick Callis, A2, Anthony Piano, Ryan. You could be like A1, who's been here the longest out of this crew. And we got others coming in. If you're in high school, this can help you in your career with video graphics and other things like that. Dave Cable's not only a great director, he's a great teacher. Everybody that's come out of here said that they learned something from Dave. So this can help you in high school and then further education. We even have scholarships for you if you're going to college, so that could help you out. All right, we want you to think about this. A1 gave us this. I'll have to read it to you, but I want you to look at it. I'll explain it right now. I'll read right off of it. 3 Super Bowl games that can happen this year. Now, this is A1's opinion, and he Googled it and found out information. Number 1, San Francisco 49ers versus Kansas City Chiefs. Super Bowl 54 rematch. Number 2, San Francisco 49ers versus Cincinnati Bengals. Super Bowl 16 and Super Bowl 23 rematches. So very good. Number 3, Los Angeles Rams versus Kansas City or Cincinnati. That was nice he added that in, especially for our division. I appreciate that little bit. He didn't realize it, but that worked out. The Rams will be the second team in a row to play the Super Bowl in their own stadium.
Wow.
Do you know who the first one was?
Yes, sir.
Nick.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yes,
You are
sir.
correct.
Hooray!
We have a winner. And now we're going to go to, I have some sad news first. I'm not going to do the Skeets service station. Skeets' dad, Butch, died. And when they're trying to settle the estate, the Skeets service station had to shut down due to some family issues, and they're trying to work it out. So I went there the other day. I needed an oil change. For a week I tried calling, and luckily I had Skeets' cell, which he doesn't always get back to. He got back to me. We talked for an hour. It's just so sad. He's out of work. So anybody that needs a guy that can work on cars, he's the guy, you know, and I'll just give his, no, I won't give his cell phone number up, but contact me because he needs a job. He's out of work after 30-some years, and that's all he knows. He's good at it, and he's just out of luck right now. So these things happen. So we're going to What's on Your Mind, Smoking Jim Frazier.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And if you want the green, you got to see Levine. Yeah!
The fastball, the Levine fastball come back.
Yeah, sure did. I didn't even see it.
After
It
50
came
years, that fastball come back. Anybody that saw me play know I had a good one there.
But hey, Al Levine, I found a new invention, Al Levine, the talking machine, and I'm hooked on it. And I tell you what, I'm feeling better than I felt in the last 15 years. You ever hear of red light therapy?
I did see something on it.
Oh, Al Levine, I tell you what, I go to this gym, right? This beautiful young lady shows me around for a membership And then she takes me in the back and says, "You got to try this red light therapy, right?" She says,
Smoking Jim. This is a family show.
It is. She said, "You got to take off all your clothes." I signed right there. I signed up right there. Elevator talking
Hold it. This is a family show.
But I didn't know that you had to do that to go in there. But I tell you what, I've been getting it.
Where'd you go in?
I've been getting it a couple of times a week, Levine Talking Machine. You can't do it 24 hours in a row. But I tell you what, I've never felt better.
How long do you do it?
It's only for 12 minutes.
And what does the back look like?
Pardon me?
You said you had to go to the back. What does the back look like?
No, the back of the club. That's where they had it. But hey, Levine.
This sounds so sketchy. What's
But
it
I
cost?
figured you would have heard of red light therapy. Look it up, man. There's some good stuff.
I'd rather not.
But I tell you what, Levine, the Talking Machine, the NFL hasn't been too successful with black quarterbacks. There's only one black quarterback in the Hall of Fame, that's Warren Moon. The Steelers in particular hadn't been real good with black quarterbacks. Joe Gilliam, Cordell Stewart, Byron Leftwich, even though he makes good decisions, he married one of the Schafinos. Brittle Charlie Batch.
What?
Dennis Dixon. Oh, Charlie Batch.
Was wonderful.
Oh, that boy couldn't stay healthy for 5 minutes.
In his opinion.
Dennis
Again, disclaimer, these are Smoking Jim's
He's a
opinions.
brittle brother.
The race car doesn't mean anything to us. For some reason, he brings this out. It's his opinion.
Dennis Dixon, Michael Vick, Dwayne Haskins, Joshua Dobbs, just to name a few. But the Steelers in their history really only had a handful of good white quarterbacks. Big Ben, Terry Bradshaw, Bobby Lane, and Duck Hodges.
How about Johnny Unitas, Lenny
Yeah,
Dawson?
but they cut them all.
And who was that under?
Huh?
Who was the owner?
Mr. Rooney was,
Art Rooney.
yeah.
Okay.
So,
That's the curse.
here's my pick, Levine, the Talking Machine for the Steelers.
Is it a black guy?
Steelers first round draft pick.
He's black. Malik.
Malik Willis. How'd you know? Did I mention him before?
No. My man, I watch some sports.
Okay.
Okay? I just don't always put it out there.
Okay.
Because you guys would rather think I don't know.
Well, I know how much you know, brother. I know you know a lot, brother. I
So
listen to your shows.
thank you. I thank you very much. But yeah, I heard about him a few weeks ago.
Well, Levine, he's my
And I don't think we'll get him.
Well, he's rising a little bit, but he got a few things that'll make him slide in the draft. Number one, he's only 6'1", which is short for a quarterback. He's 200.
How did Drew Brees do it?
Yeah, he was a second-round pick, Drew Brees. So yeah, he did it. He slid.
How did Russell Wilson do it?
He was a third-round pick.
Okay.
Exactly.
I
But
just
I'm
wanted
saying-
you to bring those things out. I
but
know
then-
that.
Now, what I like about him, listen, there's going to be pressure to take a quarterback this year. Pickett may be gone. He's engaged now. Beautiful volleyball player from Princeton.
What does that have to do with where he's going in the draft?
He probably be going for the Steelers pick.
Again, this is a problem we have, that these are his opinions, and only his
He
opinions.
is engaged to a volleyball player from Princeton.
How it applies to what's going on.
Well,
Can
yeah.
you tell us how our team is done?
Well, let me just wrap it up with this.
Because I heard Pitt Volleyball has a good team for women.
Oh, great. They did great.
They finished in the top 4, didn't they? They did good.
But let me just wrap it up. He's 6'1", 225 pounds. He runs a 4.37 40. Got a gun for an arm. Went to Liberty, which I like Liberty because it's a Christian school. You don't get through there. Don't forget Eric Green got kicked out for a year for having a beer in his room. So usually you're going to be, from the neck up, you're going to be pretty good.
Well, with your Christian groups, they're actually doing pretty well this year, so
Yeah.
I have to throw it out.
So that is
No,
true.
I have to throw it out because you're doing fine, you told Nick on a private conversation.
Yeah.
And that was a lie. So now I'm against what you're picking with Christian groups.
Well, don't turn your back on Christians. But,
No, groups that you recommend.
okay.
I'll make it specific.
But
Downward trend.
But here, I just want to close it out with this. Here,
You've been
listen.
closing it out.
Mason Rudolph deserved the opportunity to start next year. He's 6'5", 225 pounds, a great college quarterback, great high school quarterback. The Pittsburgh Steelers got a lot invested. What I like about this, the Wildcat offense gets credited in 2008 with the Dolphins, but it really started in 1995 with Bill Cowher and Cordell Stewart as Slash. So it's hard to get short
No,
yardage.
I thought he was Slash.
Huh? Yeah, Slash.
You said Flash.
Oh, same thing.
CTE.
So, Levine, the talking machine.
Just trying to help.
So it's not a wasted pick when you take Willis, because I don't think Mason Rudolph would mind coming out of the game on short yardage or goal line situations. You know what I mean? Come in, run some Wildcat.
I have one question.
Yes,
Can
sir.
they take him out over half of the time?
No.
Because I would recommend that.
Well, he got to be your starter.
No, he could
Next
be
year.
in 51% of the time.
Okay. But hey, that's my pick, Al Levine, the talking machine. And hey, you may have a future starting quarterback down the line if something happens with Mason Rudolph and Dwayne Haskins. But I think this is a guy that can come in and do some good slash rolls right away. Plus, he got a gun for an arm, and he got a great future.
I got to put
That's
my
pick,
opinion out
Malik
here.
Willis.
As you know, Smoking Jim and I are best friends. I disagree with most of what he says. When he says something about football, because he says 2 films a day
Two
on
college games a day.
2 college games a day on a 98-inch screen. Okay? So he can't miss anything. And he even knows what linemen are doing because he watches their hand. And if they're coming forward, their knuckles are white.
Yes, sir.
For the
Yes,
white
sir.
guys. Now they're wearing gloves, so I don't know what he's seeing. But when he talks about something outrageous with a football pick, it has a 10% chance. And he's known to bet. I would give you odds 10-1 for that pick.
I lost big money on Green Bay this
Hey,
week.
Vince, thanks for watching our show. Vince is asking all kind of questions. Bill Means got to leave for an early appointment. Bill, good luck. Thanks for giving us 100 likes. Tony from Chick-fil-A just said, should the Steelers let go Mike Tomlin for Sean Payton in a year?
Wow.
Ooh, that's
Wow.
That is a great thing.
wow.
One of the best offensive minds in the league, Sean Payton. And then I just found out that Mike Tomlin was making defensive calls for Dick LeBeau for 2 years before he got rid of him. And then Butler came out, which Smoking Jim never respected. He came out and said he never called a defensive play because Tomlin did it.
Wow.
So we got deep problems. So
Well,
hello
don't forget-
to Tony, hello to Amy, friend of ours from the bakery at Giant Eagle. We appreciate all of you watching. Vince, I don't know who you are or how you know us, but thanks for watching our show. We appreciate anybody. On my screen, I can't see all the people that are liking us, or coming on board, but thanks to all of you. We appreciate this, and we do this every week. Thanks to Nick Callis discovering how to do it.
Technology.
Well, don't forget, before we go to Nick, that Sean Payton had 6 losing seasons with Drew Brees. Only coach I would take over Coach Tomlin is Mike McCarthy. I would take him in a heartbeat.
Let me
over Mike
explain
Tomlin.
something. Jerry Jones showed what kind of person Mike McCarthy is by controlling everything in Dallas. And then when he let him go, he had lost discipline with his team. And those are some of the results. So if you like a guy that can do that and only won 1 Super Bowl,
Against
Sean
the
Payton
Steelers.
only won 1 Super Bowl with Drew Brees.
Yeah, good point.
So, and Cowher, how many did he win?
He won one when he had a
Oh, thank
Hall
you.
of Fame
You
quarterback.
made my case.
when he had if he had Hall of Fame quarterbacks like those guys did, he'd have about 10.
There was a joke about Queens if she had something, but we're not going to talk about that. It's an old-time joke. But if doesn't mean a thing. So, Smoking Jim, you just proved my point about why they should hire Sean Payton. 1 Super Bowl gets you in Pittsburgh. All right, let's hear from Nick.
Wait, Tomlin has a Super Bowl. They all have 1 Super Bowl. Great argument, Smoking Jim.
No, he's disrespectful. It's not a great argument.
I'll shift from football to a little bit of baseball. First
You
of all,
ship to whatever you think
yeah,
you got to
all right.
do.
So I got, I saw on Twitter. So I found out a couple years ago I had a Twitter anniversary. So like, woohoo! January 24th is my Twitter anniversary. A couple college guys were like, "You need to be in the know, Nick. So go ahead and get Twitter." I got Twitter, and I found out that a lot of news actually comes through it, and it's terrible. And I've already given my spiel on social media, but I
Then
saw
don't
that
bore us here.
some.
Oh, did I say that? I was thinking it. Sorry, folks.
Some unverified source put on Twitter that there was breaking news that Major League Baseball and the MLBPA came to a decision to agree on terms. That's not true. So if you haven't found out that's not true by now, or if you haven't heard it, ignore what I'm saying. They still haven't come to terms, but they met today, so that's progress. Which means that if they're meeting and they're trying to discuss and they're trying to get to a season start, then that gives me some optimism that
Let me
will happen
share
by
some of my wisdom
February.
about negotiating. I negotiated 6 multi-million-dollar contracts. When you negotiate through the media, you're not going to have any progress. And when the time gets close to when you have to sign a deal, that's when they sign a deal.
Yeah.
These are common sense things. You're young, so you haven't witnessed it, but I witnessed it many times.
But the guy that broke it on Twitter, I'm like, who is this man?
Yeah.
I always look into sources. I'm like, who are these people? And his name was like Box 7 or something, and I was like, that's not a reputable source.
Well-
Why is this coming up in my notifications?
Let me explain for all the people that believe everything on social media. There's somebody anonymous there or with a false name, false profile. They spoofed my profile again.
I got a friend
on
request from you.
Instagram, and we reported it again. So my daughter said I'm too popular, and she said that's not good. So they keep stealing my profile. So you see my profile, and I go, "How you doing? Please accept my friend request." So I don't talk like that.
You're not that popular on Instagram.
Let me Smoking Jim to show you.
Oh, here we go. Wait.
He just struck a little chord. 'Cause he doesn't know. I put 28 pics on my Instagram account because my daughter said, "Don't be." She goes, "Don't be annoying like Smoking Jim is on Instagram." I have 919 people following me. How many follow you?
More than that.
Tell me. Tell me. Give me a number.
I can't think right now.
Give me a number. I rest my
I
case.
think 1800.
Okay.
Okay. All right, back to so social media is terrible. That's what we've learned right now.
And
But
so
anyway,
Smoking Jim on social media.
okay. All right. And then something, if he comes back, something that Smoking Jim and I agree on is that Barry Bonds should be in the Hall of Fame. Unfortunately, only got 66% of the votes on this ballot, so very sad. And you've already heard my opinion, I think, on this, but I think Barry Bonds should be in the Hall of Fame, and I'm really sad. But David Ortiz got in, which I know Chip didn't think that would happen, and I
Right.
didn't think it would happen either, but he did. He got,
Big
76?
Poppy. Yeah.
He got 76% of the votes, so good for him. And
Let me explain something. Barry Bonds was hated, treated the media terribly in general,
That's true.
and Big Poppy was loved by everybody. So do you think there might be a difference?
yeah, I mean, and I mean, this will be.
I mean, I'm being honest.
this will be
here.
for another day, but I don't know how like unbiased writers can really be, and I don't know if they should be the ones deciding who should be in the Hall of Fame anymore, because there are just so many credentials that like.
This has
I
been
think
going on since they created the Hall of Fame.
No, I realize that. I'm just saying that's for another day, but I'm not all with. The,
Look at how they could only choose 7 major leaguers to be in the first class of Hall of Famers.
Yeah, it's like.
And how come more Hall of Famers haven't been 100%?
Yeah, Rivera being the first was kind of suspicious. He
That
deserved it, I think.
No, that is so sketchy.
You don't think so?
How can Babe Ruth not get it? Ty Cobb, Honus Wagner, one of the best shortstops ever.
I don't know. That's a discussion for another time, though. But that's what's on my
Well,
mind.
you brought this up, so you
That's
piqued
true.
my interest. I'll carry on.
All right.
Thank you, Nick. We appreciate that. No thanks to Smoking Jim and social media. Always something negative. I don't even use Instagram, and he's picking on me.
At least he uses Bitcoin, though. So
Don't even bring up Bitcoin. Bitcoin is now banned because Smoking Jim lost a quarter of his money since he first brought it up. He was bragging he had a Bitcoin.
I got church people.
He was bragging, and he didn't know he had a fraction of a Bitcoin.
They follow God.
So we have to move on from it because my man wanted to be a millionaire because some, I won't mention what kind of people, told him he would be. They can't even explain why they're losing money. And that's because it's risky. Okay, real simple. So we're going to move on to Anthony here. I'm not going to mess up his last name, so we'll just bring Anthony in yellow. What's on your mind?
What's on my mind actually is the Green Bay Packers. They were absolutely atrocious against.
Can I agree with you?
Oh yeah, they were terrible against the 49ers. One of the worst offensive performances they've ever put out there. Like completely just terrible.
And how can you do it on your playoff game?
Especially with one of the best quarterbacks in the league and him getting that much pressure is atrocious.
At least
They're in-
McCarthy's not the head coach anymore.
Something else that was brought to my attention, through social media as well, was their special teams were terrible.
Yes.
One of the worst special teams performances. They were dropping kickoffs. They were dropping, the block punt that gave them 7 points. No one even tried to get the ball. It was
Right.
terrible. And then,
You know
the
what?
final-
Welcome aboard with your observations.
and then
We all see that, but nobody wants to talk about what they see.
yeah, it's crazy. And then on the final play, they didn't put the full special teams out to block the field goal. They only put out 10 players.
Wow.
And the Green Bay Packers, they're in a worse position than the Steelers are, in my opinion,
Whoa.
because
Uh-oh.
Aaron Rodgers is a free agent this year. Most likely he probably will retire. I don't think he will, but he might. There's speculation about that, or he might go to another city. Their best wide receiver, Devontae Adams, is also a free agent.
Right.
And he's going to want a huge pay. They are 42, I think it was like 40 mil, 30 mil under the cap already.
40.
That's terrible. So they're in, people will think that Pittsburgh's in the tough spot with the quarterback situation, but their
Yeah.
whole team is gone. There's 30 free agents.
Wow.
It's insane.
You heard it here from the new guy from behind the camera,
Yeah.
giving me those great shots to right here. How about the facts that he brought out, Smoking
I
Jim?
lost a ton of money on Green Bay this week.
Yeah.
We
A lot of people
we
do.
are so
They are
glad to hear
terrible.
that, because if you're going to bet, don't start. If you do bet already, bet the opposite of Smoking Jim Frazier. He did it again. Bet the house, and he lost it. He lost the house because we didn't even hear how much he lost, because he never tells us the truth.
Their
But-
special team coordinator needs to be fired. That's terrible.
No, you're on fire here, Anthony.
awful.
Welcome aboard. Way to
Thanks
go.
for having me.
Wow. Okay, you can leave now. That's
That's
it.
on my mind. I'll go back on the camera.
All right, thank you. No, that was great. Great debut. All right, what's on my mind is I watched one of the greatest football games I've ever seen. You know what game it was?
Yes, sir.
All right, can you tell them?
Kansas City Chiefs versus the Buffalo Bills.
All right, thank you. They all thought Josh Allen couldn't do two great games back again. He lost with 2 games with 9 touchdowns and no interceptions. He doesn't go to the championship game. What a performance that is. Then, how do you score in 13 seconds? And the question I have,
Didn't the Bills put out a piece of paper on the defensive line?
put
Try to
my-
stop. They put a piece of paper out to try to stop the Chiefs, right?
No.
That's what.
They had
That's what I thought I saw.
No, they took something out of the refrigerator called, some of you older guys will know it, Swiss cheese. That's what they had there, and it was frozen, so it broke. Now, how do you not kick a squib kick when everybody knows you can kick it to the 10 or 15 yard line, and that'll use at least 2-3 seconds? Now, others are saying, well, if you squib kick it, it's on the 40, so they got better field position. No, your kickers are great.
Right.
They kick it in the end zone. Look at the Ravens, their kicker. He can kick it to the 20-yard line, to 20 yards deep. And they didn't do that. And then I never, in my wildest dreams, thought that Mahomes could do it. And then I see Tyreek Hill go for a crossing pass for 42 yards. Then I see Kelsey doing a Santonio Holmes, only not stretched out, curled up, and he gets a touchdown. Then people were complaining about the coin toss. 10 teams out of 11 have won the coin toss, and then they won the game. Well, here's what I look at. You have offense, you have defense. The defense, aren't you supposed to stop the offense?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I go, what happened? I don't care how great Mahomes is. They made him look pedestrian in the first half. And that means they made him look average, Smoking Jim. Because pedestrians cross the street. You don't do it because you're driving and you got other people driving you around. But that's what they made him look average. So you couldn't do it when it counts? All right, I rest my case. Great game. Loved it. I'm a Chiefs fan, so I'm a little jaded here on what's going on, but we'll see what happens. And we're going to come back with some fiction and fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac.
It's Schultz working it back in deep. Fresh from the bench, it's Crosby. Crosby on Kunitz and shoots. Penguins win it!
Can you tell me where you were on Tuesday night at 7 o'clock?
No. Can you tell me where it was at 7 p.m. on Tuesday?
What if I told you I can? What if I told you I know exactly where you are every Tuesday night at 7 o'clock?
Every Tuesday night? Why would I be doing the same thing every Tuesday night?
Maybe because you like pizza.
What are you getting at?
We have your fingerprints all over the switcher in the control room. I can smell the olive oil's pizza on your breath. I think you know exactly what I'm getting at.
You can't prove anything.
We have eyewitnesses that can place you at the scene. You might as well just come clean.
Okay, I admit it. I help broadcast Pittsburgh Sportsline Live every Tuesday night at 7 on BPTV.
I know you do, Anthony. Because I'm there too.
What?
Because I'm the VIP.
So check out the VIP, Al Levine, the Talking Machine, and the rest of the lively crew on Pittsburgh Sportsline every Tuesday night at 7 o'clock on BPTV.
Okay.
The zone, Bonino has Hagelin moving to the net. It's spiked down in the air by Jordy and laid around behind. Kessel up with it there. Fed one around in front. Hagelin, your shot.
Thanks, Al Levine, the Talking Machine. I got my main man, best editor on the planet. My man Ryan is back this week. And I tell you what, Al Levine, the Talking Machine, we got the captain, A1, Anthony, never a hero out of place. And I tell you what, man, we need a leader, and we got one in him. But Al Levine, the Talking Machine,
Yes.
you touched on it a little bit, man.
How'd I do it?
Yeah, I tell you what, I'm a fan. Best interviewer since Johnny Carson, in my opinion.
Oh,
But
thank you.
Al Levine,
And you're my Ed McMahon.
there you go.
You laugh at everything I say and what I don't say.
Hey, I'm a fan. But hey, Al
Thank
Levine,
you.
the Talking Machine, back in 2013,
Way back.
Shake and Bake, Baker Mayfield was the best freshman quarterback in college football. He was the Big 12 Offensive Freshman of the Year. But as soon as Shake and Bake heard that Texas Tech was recruiting Patrick Mahomes, he transferred to Oklahoma. That's how great Patrick Mahomes was. He may be the greatest all-time quarterback ever. In 2016, Al Levine, the Talking Machine, he broke the NCAA record by passing for 734 yards in one game against Baker Mayfield in Oklahoma. He was the NFL Rookie of the Year, NFL MVP. This year will be his third straight Super Bowl appearance, Al Levine, the talking machine. And I touched on it last
that's
week.
the fiction part. There it is.
I touched on it last week. It
There's
might
a
have went.
bunch.
It might have went over everybody's head. It sure went over Chip's head. I said when Bill Cowher got the job in '92, the best team in the division was Houston. He said to make the playoffs, we got to be better than Houston, and Bill Cowher made sure they was better. In Pittsburgh, only thing that matters is Super Bowl. I agree with A2 that the Pittsburgh Steelers is one of the most talented teams in all of football. Al Levine, the talking machine. And the road to the Super Bowl goes through Kansas City. Pittsburgh Steelers got to figure out a way to beat Mahomes. And that's fiction and fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac. This is the modern day Joe Namath, Dan Marino, all wrapped up into one. John Elway.
It sure looks like they did a great and talented job this year, didn't they?
Might be the second black quarterback to go to the Hall of Fame, joining
That just didn't
Warren
answer.
Moon.
You definitely just
Do
didn't
they got
answer
a
my
separate
question.
wing?
What?
Do they got a separate wing?
Wow. Disclaimer.
No, just asked it. I ain't been a kid in a while.
He's so out of control.
When you walk in the back down the hallway, you see Warren Moon's bus.
You know what? These opinions.
You ever see it?
The opinions here are only by Smoking Jim Frazier. It's exclusive. It's just him. I'm not picking on him. Look at what he says and listen. One thing, he is entertaining, and how about that laugh? I'm glad he laughs at some of my jokes, and then I'm glad he laughs at my disclaimers.
I have now
because
divided.
it's on him.
I've divided us from that corner.
All right, put the plate down. We'll move on.
All right, so we're talking about overtime rules in the NFL, and of course, you know, memes and things are happening all over social media, and people are giving their opinions about the overtime rules. I'm excited to know what you have to say, but I'm going to speak first.
Okay.
So, should they be changed? Should people be rightfully outraged at the rules of overtime in the NFL? I argue no. Don't change the rules. It's okay. Listen, so you got a bunch of aspects of football. You got offense, you got defense, you got special teams, and this is a situation where the Bills just decided at the end of the game that they were going to let Kansas City score to tie the game. They barely played defense well, and then you go to overtime, and you're telling me that you couldn't stop the offense again? You had two chances to stop the offense around the same part of the field, and you didn't? It's like, you know, you got to play both sides of the ball, and if you can't stop the same offense on two different tries after a break in between, you don't deserve to move on in the playoffs. Okay, everybody's talking about the coin flip has the power. I mean, the coin flip has the power at the beginning of the game, and nobody's really worried about it. Everybody's talking about, too, like, nobody's talking about in the regular season when a coin flip in overtime can determine the win or loss of a team. And every game in the NFL every week is big because you only play one time and you only play 17 games in a season. So it's like, okay, nobody cares about the regular season because, oh, yeah, there's time to rebound. I'd argue that every game in the regular season is big. Look how the season ended this year, and now you're telling me we're going to the playoffs, and it's like, oh, we don't like the Chiefs anymore because the Chiefs are good. We want a good feel-good story in the Bills to move on. No, that's a feeling. You all have feelings inside you. You want Josh Allen to be, you know, to continue to be a good quarterback, and you want the feel-good Bills who haven't been to the playoffs or haven't had good, consistent playoff runs in a while, haven't been to a Super Bowl. You want them to go and make the Super Bowl and maybe win it because they're a nice little hometown story, hometown favorite, but your stupid coin ruined their chances. No, the coin didn't ruin their chances, folks. The coins didn't ruin their chances. Their defense.
Let me interrupt you 1 second. When they talk about the coin, who called the coin?
The Bills.
The Bills did because they were the away team.
Who? Josh Allen.
That's
he
ironic.
Called heads. He could have called heads.
He called tails.
Yep.
That's another great point. It's just
I'm trying to help you out. I'm on your side.
I appreciate
I'm
that.
no smoking Jim
So
here.
listen, just enough with the, enough with all the outrage. I mean, everybody can be outraged for a little bit, but there's really no point in it. The NFL changed the rules a few years ago, if I'm not wrong either, to kind of fix, because now you couldn't just kick a field goal to win the game. You actually had to score a touchdown.
Right.
And that was good for everybody for 3 years, but now we got this story, and it's like, no, they need to change it again. No, the Bills need to play better on defense. The Bills lost to a few shaky teams this year, and if they couldn't be better than if the Bills defense couldn't be better than the Chiefs offense, then the Bills do not deserve to advance in the playoffs this year.
Very true.
And what if Mahomes' receivers would have dropped the ball?
The Bills might be going to the playoffs, or might be advancing in the playoffs.
Just thought I'd bring it up. There's two sides to each thing. Thank you very much, Nick. We're going to go to Anthony on a special edition of what he wants to talk about. Anything in sports.
I guess I'll talk about something that's usually not talked about, actually, the NBA.
Okay.
Whoa!
Put it out there. Go ahead.
In recent years, it actually has to do with Pittsburgh, with the NBA, actually. So,
Really?
Yes.
You better lay it on us. You
the
teased us
NBA
very well.
The NBA has been talking about expansion since the NHL has been expanding to Seattle and Vegas. And the NBA has already stated that they have interest in expanding to 32 teams. The first thing they already said is they're pretty much going to go back to the next 10 years is Seattle, because they lost the Supersonics
Right.
back, I forget, like a decade now.
Yeah.
They moved to OKC. I don't remember the reasons why. But in second place for the cities is Kansas City, but in close third is Pittsburgh.
Oh, that's
Whoa.
great. That'd be great.
And the reason why I think they'll actually choose Pittsburgh over Kansas City is the NBA prefers smaller markets. They chose cities like Memphis over plenty of other places
Good
they could have
point.
moved
Good
Vancouver back
Great
in the day.
Good
analysis.
point.
Uh,
I didn't know that.
People also look like what was it saying they wouldn't come to Pittsburgh because we have a hockey. It's the same season as hockey, so they wouldn't be able to do it. But there's teams like the I forget who it was.
There's a few.
The Islanders share a stadium with somebody during the season. It's just they have to. I feel
Angeles
like
They
teams
adjust
share-
the floor.
yeah.
The Los Angeles teams shares with the Lightning. No, it's Tampa Bay. What am I thinking? The Kings.
And Machine, what did Jessica Lee tell us a few
Yeah,
years back?
our jazz singer friend Jessica Lee said, if you have an NBA team, they will come.
Yeah, and also I think they should expand to Pittsburgh, not just because we're from Pittsburgh, it's because we would finally get the Big Four, and since we haven't had a basketball team since the 60s, I think that would make it exciting. People don't think Pittsburgh's a NBA market or a basketball market, but I think it is if given the opportunity.
The only thing I would say is that, no, that's good, that maneuvering the city in that area is already a disaster, and I'm just like logistically
Let me explain what will solve the whole thing. Money.
That is true.
yes.
And the
That
NBA
solves all these problems. And I'm a basketball fan because my dad was a referee. And there's such a large following of high school basketball,
Yes.
college basketball, all over Western Pennsylvania. So I know people like basketball. So money.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
And Machine. And if there's ever a conflict with the Penguins and the NBA team got the game on the same day, you can move the NBA over in the Chuck Cooper Arena, right?
Yeah.
Is there a Chuck Cooper?
No,
Yeah.
there is for Duquesne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or how about you go to the Pete?
I would love that.
No,
I
up
would
there's
love that.
that'd be a disaster for parking. That's what I was talking about.
We don't care about it. They're playing the game.
You might care if you can't get there.
We'll run shuttles. And for you young puppies, we used to walk that hill.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't walk anymore.
Pitt Stadium.
We used to walk the hill.
I got an app that can get me a car.
And
It's
then
real
we
good.
walked the hill back down.
No, I don't do the walking stuff.
So I rest my case. Money. All right, let's go. All right, great on location. Anthony created it. Thank you very much. On location, I got one short thing, and then we'll go to Penguins. We got a text message the other day. Hey, yeah, we'd like you guys to do USS Fight Academy February 19th. I said, yes, we'll be there. That's on location, so we're looking at boxing the 19th of February. And don't forget March 5th with Jose Carabella and Ray Schaefer's Boxing Club. That's it. We're going to go to, we don't need a commercial, just a hockey logo, and we'll start talking hockey. All right, Penguin talk. I just have to share this. The other day, I even forget who they were playing. Sid had 2 goals. There's an empty net. I never saw this ever happen. Rusty, my boy Russ, is going down the right side. All of a sudden, Sid passes it to him off the wall into the goal for a hat trick.
Wow.
That's my play of the year.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
He said he didn't really practice it when they interviewed him later, but believe me, he practices everything. And just a great player. So great to still have him performing after how many years has he been in the league? Like 13, 14 years?
Whatever, 2005 to now.
17 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
15, 16.
You can't beat that.
That's crazy.
Hey, that's my kickoff with the Penguins. They've been playing great this year. It's hard to believe without the big guns that they did this. Malkin's back. He's scoring, and he's playing the system like Sully likes, which who would have thought that Malkin could play assistant? The Mad Russian usually goes off on a tangent there, but he's done pretty well so far. And the other players are doing great. Look at Rust. Look at Rodriguez. Who even expected him to do it, although he was a scorer up in Boston and things like that in college.
Even Jeff Carter's doing pretty good.
Jeff Carter, at his age, you'd think he'd be done.
Yeah.
Number 77. No, great points. What do you guys think? Anthony?
I think they're doing great. I hope they don't do what they did previously in the playoffs where they
One and done.
Yeah. Yeah, but they look really strong. Keep going on big win streaks of like 5, 6 games, which is amazing. Got them back in the 2nd place in the division. I think they're behind the Rangers.
Well, look, when we lost 2 in a row after winning, 11? Everybody in Pittsburgh goes, here we go again. And, yeah, they started another streak, a winning streak.
But they always bounce back. I'm never disappointed with their seasons. It's usually the playoffs I'm more sketchy about because recently they've been doing
Well, what I like the philosophy, to interrupt you, that Sullivan has the next man up because Tomlin has created that. And we look for the next man with the Steelers, and we don't see him.
Yeah.
Guess what we see with the Penguins? They become scorers. They become good defensemen. Look at Letang playing his best years at the end of his career.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
everyone thought he was going to be terrible this year.
Well, he was careless many times because he's all about offense. Play some defense, which he's good at it. He's fast. But look at how he's controlled the puck and passed.
Yeah. I'm wrong about Malkin. I thought Malkin was going to come back 10 times worse from
that Mad Russian.
And he's doing great again. So don't trade him.
To go on a tangent, you know what the Steelers did to the next man up? They traded him to the Chiefs.
I'm not even talking about Ingram.
I know.
Good point.
Yeah,
No,
we won't talk about it.
No, that's a great point. I said to my son, I go, the Steelers, you got me on a tangent tonight. I go on these little mini tangents. Said to my son, you see that Ingram, making a couple plays? I go, what kind of coaches do we have who lied to a guy about saying, we'll play you?
Yeah.
Then you have other guys not even performing, and he's bitching about it. Well, guess what? I want that guy on my team that wants to play.
Yes, sir. Yes,
and look what he did. He may go to the Super Bowl, and we picked him out because we thought he was good.
Yeah.
They were right, but not here.
Back to the.
Sorry for the diversion.
Back to the Penguins, though.
I had to get that off my chest.
Sure, no, no, but I think that sometimes you say it all the time. Pittsburgh fans are spoiled with their sports, other than the Pirates. Yikes. But
growing up, I wasn't spoiled.
You lived through a few World Series.
Yeah, but as a young kid,
sure.
Before '69, the only thing I liked was baseball. They drafted Joe Green. I didn't like the Steelers. My favorite team was the Green Bay Packers.
That's But no, but I think
after '69, I'm a Steeler, black and gold guy.
Well, like I think sometimes that when we focus on the present, we kind of lose sight of how the team's done before. I mean, they went back-to-back championships not too long ago,
Twice.
and they haven't missed the playoffs since 2006. I know a lot of I've heard some skepticism too, like how well are the Penguins managed, since they've kind of had a downward trend recently, but then they're always resilient. They too said it perfectly. They usually always come back. So I mean, I've never lost faith in the Penguins, even when Chip said last year they won't make the playoffs, and then they ended up doing so. I was like, no, I have blind faith. I don't have Chip's hockey knowledge or analysis, but I'm like, no, I have blind faith that they will be resilient and they'll do well. And they've played next man up this year, which makes me confident in their ability to develop some talent and pick the right guys to be on the ice and perform. And even if it's not the main Crosby-Malkin pairing, they're still finding ways to find the right people, and that gives me more faith in how they're managed as
Nick,
well.
You bring up good points. That look at the players they've brought in to replace other good players.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So obviously they know something.
Yeah.
And when people are critical, I mean, look in the mirror. What are you doing? Are you getting better each day or worse? I try to get better. Just look in your own mirror before you make these judgment calls.
Right. No, I mean, I'm grateful.
In my opinion.
I'm grateful, too. They're either like, they're, and I work at the Fan, too, and I cover the Penguins regularly, and I'm watching the game, whether they're down, they're coming back.
You can brag all you want. Go ahead.
That's what I'm saying. Rather, whether they're winning by a lot or they're winning tight games or winning overtime, games are winning.
Yeah.
And they're finding ways to do it with people who you might not expect or, recently the guys who come back off injury and done well. So good for them. I believe in them. They are resilient.
Hey, I'm confident they can get past the first round this year.
I hope so.
You heard it here first.
I also think Jake Gensel's going to be the next big thing for the Penguins. He's an amazing superstar. That guy is insane. Great scorer.
Look at his net presence.
Yeah.
He's a guy that you might only be a little smaller than him.
Yeah.
And he's in front of the net getting beat up by 6'5" monsters and a goaltender pounding him with a stick. And what's he do? Bing, he puts the puck in there. Bing, puts another puck past him.
Yeah, he's gonna he's gonna be the man behind Crosby, I believe. They're gonna focus on him after Crosby's gone.
Well, it's set up to be that way. Let's
Yeah.
hope he stays healthy. That's all we need there. No, thanks for Anthony being on board. Hope you enjoyed him there.
Great job. Great job.
And thanks for all of you. Bill Means, thanks for coming back to us. Hopefully I'll see you on the 29th. I got my KO reunion. Bill Means will be there and some others, so we'll reminisce a little bit. Appreciate you watching the show. And we're just about out of time. Thanks, Smokin' Jim. Thanks, Nick, also. Thanks, A1. Thanks to Ryan. We heard his voice. Yes, we heard Ryan's voice, and it's good. Please stay Joey strong.